Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Pub Talk, where I sit down, have a beer, and I talk to the camera and tell you guys a story. So, for the first official Pub Talk, I wanted a good story, and I didn't know where to start. Do I tell you guys a story where I woke up and there was a stranger in my hallway watching me sleep? Or do I tell you a story where some lady tried to get into my house at 9 in the morning and have a beer? But I decided to go with a story where I will never forget it, for sure. And this is the time I saw someone die. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. This isn't like it's not funny that someone died, but it was an experience. So, if you know me, I'm a big fan of Marvel. And as much as I love the comics, in this situation, I'm talking about the MCU. When Marvel announces a new movie, I get very excited. I don't really watch trailers, it's extremely rare. I just can't wait for these movies to come out. I love the storyline. I love the huge universe. Even if it's a movie I don't necessarily agree with that they made or I'm not too excited for, I still see that movie within the first weekend or so of it being released. One of the movies I got most excited for in the MCU was Captain America Civil War. The idea of the whole MCU coming together and beating the crap out of each other was very exciting. I mean, we knew we were getting Black Panther and Spider-Man in this movie. It was just a huge storyline when it came to the comics alone. It was one of the best-selling storylines. So to see that come on the screen, I couldn't wait. And obviously we knew we were going to have hundreds of superheroes appearing in this movie and beating the shit out of each other. But we had a pretty big cast coming into it, and we knew it was going to be great. And it is still one of the best MCU movies today. So, it's the day. The day is here. This is already my second attempt to see this movie. I can't remember why I didn't see it opening weekend. There was a reason though, and I did try to. So this was my second attempt to see the movie. I got into the theaters, I bought my ticket, I stood in line for a couple of hours to make sure we had good seats, and it was happening. I was about to see this movie. Now, we get in there, we get up the stairs, we get center back row. We're ready. I think the preview started to show beforehand. The theater's filling up fast, and it's going. And we see one gentleman walk in, and he's walking along across. So if you look at the theater, it has like two sections. There's like a back section, and then there's like an aisle, and then there's a front section for seats. I'm at the back, and you see this guy walking across that aisle in the middle part. And out of nowhere, he wipes out. He hits the floor. He's down. And naturally, people laugh at him. And it was a good 5 seconds or so, and I clicked. And I don't know if I was the first to say it, but I kind of stopped laughing. I was like, he's not getting up. And he didn't get up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he tripped and fell, smacked his head, heart attack, or whatever. He didn't get up. So we're sitting there for a couple seconds. People rush to him. And I can't remember exactly the time frame around this, but eventually, around the same time, someone called for an ambulance. Just before the ambulance people came in, the managers come into the theater and kick everyone out. So we're leaving. Since we're at the back of the row, I was one of the last ones out of there. And I remember just walking by the guy, because you had to walk by him to get out. And you look over, and there's this lady doing CPR on him. He's out. And then there's actually 2 kids there as well. I don't know. I don't think they were his kids. I think they were the kids of the lady who were doing CPR. But imagine how like traumatic that was for them. So we go out and we go wait in the hall and kind of wait to see what's happening. They didn't really tell us what was happening. We kind of assumed he was okay. To take him out, bring him to the hospital, and we'd go back in and watch the movie. That's not what happened at all. They ended up actually having us move out of the whole theater area and asked us to go get a refund or go get a ticket for another showing because they were moving it to another theater. But I waited in line for all those hours. I kind of lost the seats that I had, and I didn't really want to see this movie with shitty seats. So I decided to just get the refund and go another time. So I didn't know what actually happened to this guy until a couple days later. someone who worked there had told me that the dude actually did pass away, and I got confirmation on that from another guy who worked there a couple months later. Now, I'm not trying to make light of the situation. Someone died, and I mean, as far as I know, he did die. I mean, he could be okay and walking around, because it's not like I didn't see it in the news or anything like that. It was just word of mouth from people who worked there that said the dude did pass. Like I said, I'm not making light of the situation. Shitty situation, and obviously I don't mind missing the movie over something like that. I did end up seeing the movie, I think, the week later. Doing this video may sound like I'm a bit of a dick. I'm not complaining about a dude dying because I wanted to see this movie. I'm just simply telling a story about a time I saw a dude die, and that's a story that's going to stick with me forever. It's a crazy thing to really witness, and it's something maybe a lot of people can't say they've seen happen either. And it happened in a scary way. You see this guy walking for about 2 seconds across an aisle, and he wiped out. And whatever it was had this effect on everyone who was there. And he passed out. And I don't know what it was. And I probably will never find out. It was crazy to see. Beer. Even if you don't know the person, something like that has a huge impact on what you see. I remember when I was in high school, I was on a bus going to school. And some dude on the bus had a seizure, and it scared the living crap out of me. I was stuck on that bus for 20, 30 minutes with this guy afterwards, and it was a very scary thing to see. As like a 16-year-old, I'd never seen anything like that before. It was really scary. And then a couple years later, that happens. So when you see these events happen, it is a really weird and scary thing. And I don't think you really think about it when it's happening. You kind of just go through it. You do what you're told. You go on with the situation. Then you reflect on it later, and you're like, holy crap, that just happened. And I've never really had anyone really close to me die. And I've never seen anything like this before. So the fact that someone died basically a couple feet away from you, it's really crazy to think about. At the time, before I found out he died, obviously there was jokes made saying, oh, I hope he gets his money back. Do you think you'll see the movie still? Obviously not funny. I took it back as soon as I found out. So yeah, that is the story where I saw someone die. One of the reasons I decided to tell this story was, it's a story I have experience telling. I've told a lot of people this one. It's a common one that gets brought up every now and then with friends. If I meet someone, they'll be like, hey Michael, how about you tell them about the time you saw someone die? And it's not a funny situation, it's just like, this is a conversation starter, and maybe it's not the best one, and maybe people will be like, that's sick. I don't know, but it is a one I've told a lot. I thought I'd share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do a lot more of these videos. I like them. They're fun. Obviously, depending on the situation, maybe not as fun, but you get what I'm saying. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a like, comment. You guys have a great one. I'll be back again soon. Bye.